Welcome to Goofy Getaways with your hosts, Amy Blades and Amy Fisher.
Hello, and welcome to the Goofy Getaways podcast. I'm Amy Blades, founder and CEO of Goofy Getaways Travel Agency that is located in Kalamazoo, Michigan. However, we have a lot of amazing consultants all over the United States. The podcast is sponsored by our travel agency, Goofy Getaways. So glad that you're here. Let me introduce to you my counterpart that is from Michigan as well. And typically I'm in Orlando and I'm in Michigan today, and it's cold compared to Florida, Amy.
As I sit here in a tank top because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's actually like sunny and fake warm at the time that we're recording this. It actually is like the first day I feel like it's starting to feel like summer in Michigan. We've had kind of a cool like kickoff to summer. So hi, I'm the other Amy. I'm Amy Fisher. I'm our Vice President of Communication and Development, as well as a travel consultant here at Goofy Getaways. And we're a travel agency that loves to lead you to the magic, no matter what your travel destination is. We love to talk to you about different travel topics and share tips and tricks with you. And today we're going to talk to you about Halloween at the Disney parks because it's approaching very quickly, so we want to make sure that you know some of
that it's coming up so soon.
Yes,
and I'm so excited that we're talking about this today because this is like one of my most favorite like extra ticketed items that you can get, that you can purchase at Disney. Oh, I love it so much. And I think we're going to touch a tiny bit on Oogie Boogie at Disneyland, which, you know, you and I can talk about in a little bit because we experienced that together. But yeah, I just think they know how to do it. Disney knows how to do it, just more like the fall, just that fall theming and I just love it. I love everything that they do, the characters, the food, all of it. So I'm super excited to talk about it today for sure.
Yeah, so we're going to talk to you, as Amy mentioned, we're going to talk about Oogie Boogie towards the end of the podcast, but we want to start off by talking about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, because this is a big, very popular event that happens at Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World. It takes place on various nights through the fall, so it usually starts mid-August and runs through Halloween night. And then Disney, you know, likes to be really quick about switching things around and all that kind of fun stuff. But like, yes, Halloween starts in the middle of August, which is why we're like, oh my gosh, it's the start of summer, but we need to be talking to you all about Halloween because at the time that we're recording this podcast episode, I think Halloween night is already sold out for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So tickets sell out, and this is, as Amy mentioned, a special after-hours event that takes place. The actual event runs from 7 to midnight. Again, it happens at Magic Kingdom, so keep this in mind if you're headed to Walt Disney World in the fall and you're not planning on doing Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. You are going to have to leave the park early if you don't have this event ticket. It is a separate ticket. It is not included with your normal, like, park tickets and things like that. So it's just a very, very cool after hours event. And Amy, who would be the right people? Like, who is this event for? And how would somebody get to attend it?
Yeah. I think it's for everyone. This is the thing that I love about the event. I also talk about why I love Walt Disney or World Land, all Disney, because I feel like you can be small, you can be teenager, you can be middle-aged, you can be 90. So I think the thing about this event is that it can be for everybody. I want to say definitely for families with little ones, but you know what? It's also for couples. If you're on your honeymoon, if you're celebrating an anniversary, a multi-generational family. So it's absolutely for everyone. And it is just a fun celebration with your favorite characters in their costumes. You get to go to different treat stops so that you're going to, you get candy and you get your little trick or treat bag. I think the parade, the entertainment, I love what they do in some of the attractions. So, what is the event? It's a super fun, family-friendly party. And who is it for? It's for everybody. There's not anyone that I wouldn't recommend this for. It is not so scary.
It's not.
It's just a lot of fun. Yeah.
We've done the other event up the road at the other park.
Yeah, that is scary.
It is scary because it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But this one is not. Like, I will be the first to admit, I'm not a big Halloween person in general. I am much more of a Christmas girly. But I feel like Disney does such a good job with these events that they bring this like spooktacular little bit of magic into it without it being anything that's like
I love when
so
they
scary.
brought Hocus Pocus, you know, like that was several years ago, and just incorporating those characters. And yeah, it's like it's the fun scary. It's not scary. That's I love it.
Yes.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
My husband's not a big like Halloween guy, never has been. And this is one of the things that he enjoys doing, and one of the things I could usually talk him into doing with our kids. I think one thing that's really important to note, and you mentioned it earlier about like Halloween already being sold out. Used to be many years ago, throughout the years, you would be able to most of the time get a ticket the same day as a Halloween party. It wasn't that difficult. And I will tell you now, that is not the case. It is something I think that you do need to plan for if you are going to be taking a trip to Walt Disney World, or you're going to be at Disneyland. When you are able to get tickets, I would get tickets right away, because they do sell out, and in the way that they sell out, sometimes some days sell out that you wouldn't think would typically sell out than another. But if you're wanting to do this with your family, it is definitely something that you'll want to plan for and you'll want to do ahead of time. Just that's my little note, just because I did have families last year that were really kind of on the fence about it, and then they went, and I had a family in September and then a family in October, and both families weren't able to go. So just a little note, to make sure and tell your travel consultant if that's something that you want to do, so you can at least get the information and get it planned as part of your itinerary.
Yeah.
It's a hot item. It's a hot party.
It is. But let's talk a little bit like, why is it such a hot item? So we need to talk about some of the experiences that happen. Let's kick it off with talking about trick-or-treating that actually happens in the park. This is so cool to me.
And it's good candy too. Like,
one tip, they do give you a bag when you arrive at the party. However, if you are planning on doing more than one or two they have like trick or treat stops around the park. If you're planning on doing a couple of those, you may want to bring your own bag. Cause like, I think I only did 2 or 3 out of the 10 spots. And my bag was overflowing. Yes. Like, it was so, I'm like, well, and it gets heavy. So maybe bring your own bag, but a little larger. And it's good candy. Like, they're partnered with Mars, and they just give you a whole scoop. It's just whoosh.
Yeah. It's not just one little, bag of candy. And I think that's a really good to make sure that you do each of the stops. I mean, that's why you're there. I mean, you can go to Disney and you get some candy for free. I mean, people joke about it, but that's what you're paying for. Make sure and go to each of the stops. It's so much fun. There's decoration. A lot of times there's character nearby. So take your time to kind of map it out and go to each of the stops.
Yeah. And let's talk about the characters, since you mentioned that. Oh my goodness. So you will have during an event like this, not only do you have some classic characters that are out, because it's a Halloween event, sometimes those classic characters are in Halloween costumes, which is so cool to see, but you also often get to see some rare characters. And I also love that they do some setups where you get to meet multiple characters at the same time. So was it last year that we got to meet, was it Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Goofy, all in the same, they were all together in their costumes.
Yep, at the circus, the carnival, yes.
Yes, back in the circus tent at Storybook Circus. I was like, what is the name of that?
My mind was blank, but we get there. We were talking about. But you did. And you get to see Minnie was dressed as a witch. I don't know. I just think it's so cute. And it's the one time where you can actually dress up also at Walt Disney World, where you can do, costumes. And you see adults and kids. We like to go when all of us go, we like to do costume kind of themes, so that we do some things that are the same. So that's always a lot of fun too. But seeing all of the costumes are so much fun, but seeing the little kids in their costumes are really, really cool too. And it's a lot of different characters not always like the ones that you think of the most. So I don't know. I love it. It's one of my favorite parts of it. People watching.
I was like, one of the most popular character stops that comes out is Jack Skellington and Sally. They usually meet in town in like the town hall in town square. And that's a very popular line. I will warn you that sometimes the character lines get a bit long. So if there's a character that's a priority for you,
do it first.
Be sure to like talk to your consultant about, depending on like the day that you're going, where you're staying, may depend on the strategy that your travel consultant gives you of like, yeah, rope drop this, or, go at the end of the night or whatever. But character lines can definitely get long, but oh my gosh, they're really cool. I will say I haven't had a chance to meet Jack and Sally yet.
Amy.
That's still on my bucket list.
So because Jack and Sally travel quite a bit, I was able to see them on Disney Cruise Line for sailing Halloween, on the high seas. But then last year I was able to see them at Magic Kingdom. And I just want to say that the characters were phenomenal. They were completely spot on and freaked me out. Jack Skellington was amazing. Very believable. Like, I know that they're cartoon type characters. It was incredible. So if you've not seen Jack and Sally, I would get in line for them first. And it is worth waiting in that line for sure.
Yeah. I've also heard tips from people. So this kind of segues us into, there is also a parade that typically runs twice during the night, and there's also fireworks. If you are somebody that you're potentially not interested in the parade or the fireworks, which they're amazing, you should definitely watch them. However, I have had clients that choose like towards the end of the fireworks, they make sure that they're watching the fireworks from that area. And as the fireworks end, they go jump in line for Jack and Sally. And it's a shorter line at that point, because a lot of other people, when the fireworks end, they stay and get themselves set up to watch the second parade that's going to be coming through. So it can be another way that if you're like, so bear that in mind.
And
that
the
fireworks,
they are a different show. They're definitely for the Halloween party, just to mention that. They're not the ones that you would see typically every night. And I think when you're talking about little tips for things, because that was a really good idea, actually. I'm a huge proponent of telling people to do that second parade for that reason, because it is not as congested as the first. I would say with the parties, a lot of times you're going to have families that stay the entire time, but it does start to clear out a little bit after the fireworks for sure.
Yep. Yeah. I love, so again, the parade runs twice. I actually like to watch the first parade from Frontierland though. And then as the parade goes by, you can actually, I do this for the Christmas party too, but as the parade goes by, you can follow the parade out to the hub and get a good spot for fireworks. So that's my other tip that I give people sometimes too. However, there's some cool things that happen along Main Street during the parades. So if you don't get me wrong, you see the parade, like the parade in full goes throughout the parade route. But there's some pre-parade entertainment that only happens along Main Street. So if that's something that you want to see, the second parade might be a better option if you don't want to spend a long time camping out for the parade, because people do set up.
Yeah. And I would rather spend my time doing the treat trails or, sneaking on a ride instead of sitting and scoping out that spot.
Yeah.
That's my
the only time I'm I'll sit for, maybe 30 minutes or something, mostly so I can enjoy a snack, because there's also special themed treats that are only sold during the Halloween party. Love that too. Those have been fun. I will say some of them are not my favorite. We had a candy corn flavored ice cream last year. I did not like that.
He's like, no.
That was not my cup of tea. But I've also had things like a Queen of Hearts slushie and some other fun snacks and things like that they're very good, and they're only sold during the Halloween party.
That are amazing cupcakes and
Yes. So those are great, and we very much enjoy those types of fun treats that you can enjoy during the party. Again, they have the fireworks, but they also have some different stage shows that will run during the evening as well. They've been doing the Hocus Pocus stage show, which is super cool. I really don't come at me, people. I'm not a Hocus, I appreciate Hocus Pocus, but I wouldn't consider myself a Hocus Pocus fan. Does that make sense?
Yeah, fair.
Okay, I appreciate it, but again, I'm not a big Halloween person.
So
in general,
that right, Hocus Pocus is one of those things we watch every year.
I appreciate it. It's fine. But I do enjoy the stage show, and the performers are so good. So that is really cool. And they run that show multiple times during the evening. So don't feel like you have to camp out for a really long time. A lot of people will watch it either before or after one of the parades or before or after the fireworks. So very, very fun show to watch. And then there's rides open.
Yeah, that you can do. I mean, and there are times towards the end of the night, after the fireworks, if you've done all of the things, there are not long wait times. And typically everything is open for the most part. I'm trying to think last year.
The majority of rides are.
But they were.
As long as the ride is normally open, right? So if the ride is there might be a ride. So for example, this year, Big Thunder Mountain is currently under refurbishment. Mm-hmm. So that means it will be under refurbishment during the Halloween party. So it's not going to magically open during the Halloween party. That would be lovely, but that's just not going to be the case. So, but a lot of other attractions are open. Some of them get some special layovers. Space Mountain goes completely black.
Yes.
So there's normally when you ride Space Mountain, there's some little flashing lights, right? There's nothing.
Nothing.
Just nothing. It makes it very intense. Word of warning. I feel like the teacups usually get some type of
decoration, the lighting.
They get some lighting. Are there other rides outside of Haunted Mansion? It's not necessarily the ride itself, but outside of Haunted Mansion is amazing.
Yes, it is amazing. I was bummed last year, and I'm going to go on record as saying this too.
Let's do it.
In the past, the Haunted Mansion cast have face makeup and stuff on. They did not have that last year. So I don't know if it was a budget cut type thing, or I'm not sure what it is, but I hope that they bring that back because it just adds a little extra layer of creativity. I was a little bummed last year that they didn't have that, but it's always fun to ride Haunted Mansion at a Halloween party.
Yeah.
But I hope that they bring that back. Kind of like the way that, I always say don't miss the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland during Halloween.
Yeah.
Because they're over.
That's a whole legit overlay. It's
incredible. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a whole other experience too. But I don't think anything else really. They don't change the rides a ton other than the ones that you mentioned.
Speaking of what they used to do though, I remember a couple of times going and they had live actors on Pirates of the Caribbean.
No way. I don't think I knew that.
And that was awesome. They did not do that last year. And I don't know if they will bring that back. No. Here's our official plea to Disney.
Yeah.
That we would like the Haunted Mansion cast to be back in their makeup. And we would love live actors on Pirates again. Because that was really cool.
And unexpected too, I think, probably.
Yes. Well, and you didn't and you don't know where they're gonna be. It was just really cool. And Pirates is a very chill ride. So it made it a little more exciting that you're like, oh,
yeah.
What?
Johnny Depp has been known to show up sometimes. I'm like, I would ride.
I mean, yes, he did show up one time in Disneyland.
No, he does that sometimes. I don't know anymore, but I'm like, you never know.
I mean, I would not be mad if Johnny Depp decided to show up.
But I do think it brings an element of surprise.
Yes.
Okay, Disney. Hear us. Hear what we're asking. We're not asking very much.
We're not asking a lot.
We're just asking for some makeup on the Haunted Mansion, some live performers.
It doesn't have to be Johnny Depp. That would be lovely, but it doesn't have to be. We would just take your excellent performers. Yeah. Just a few of them. I will say though that I typically don't encourage clients to to focus on rides during the party. Don't get me wrong. Like, should you ride some of the ones that get the special overlays and like some of those, like, if you're into roller coasters, am I going to tell you should totally ride Space Mountain in pitch black? Yes. However, to me, the thrill of, like, you go to the party for all the things that don't exist during normal park hours, right? And the rides are there all the time. Like, I can ride Seven Dwarf Mine Train whenever. Does it have a shorter line during the party? Sure. And if you want to hop on, like, okay, like, that's fine. But I don't think it should be a focus necessarily for people, because it's like, if you're so focused trying to ride all the rides during the party, you're going to miss out on some of the entertainment. You're going to miss out on some of the character meet and greets and things like that. And truthfully, you're not going to hit everything during one of the parties anyway. Right. So, because there's so much to see and do.
Oh, I think I mean, you can be as jam-packed or as laid back as you want, but man, you're not going to ever have a problem of not finding enough to do. That's for sure. That's for sure.
So that's kind of our overview of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about it in a minute. But let's jump coasts a second. And let's talk a little bit, because Disneyland also does an amazing event. It's called Oogie Boogie, and it happens at Disney California Adventure. Amy, can you tell people what is? We should say it's called Oogie Boogie Bash.
Oogie Boogie
People
Bash.
just abbreviate we just abbreviate it to Oogie Boogie
Bash, which, you know, it's the same concept, if you will, as the Not So Scary Halloween Party. You can do. I thought, like, the Oogie Boogie Bash is my most favorite thing that Disney does. Amy knows that. Mm-hmm. I think that the trick-or-treat trails are cooler because of the theming. And I feel like they're more trails than just a spot where you go. I think that I don't want to say that it was scarier or spookier, but it just has a little more of an element of mystery to it. When we
felt
went
more like true Halloween.
Yes, a little more like I don't like the smoke and if you have Memory Maker, like the pictures, we got some really cool pictures. Well,
and at Disneyland, it's included. The photo pass is included with your ticket, which I love. Yes. So you don't have to have a separate Memory Maker.
No, I'm glad that you mentioned that. That's a good point. It really is a party. It's a Halloween party. You get to do your trick-or-treat trails. You can also dress up, which is a lot of fun. You can do some of the attractions, obviously. The characters are amazing. There's the same, they're specialty drinks that you can get, different snacks that you can get. It's just a big party that is safe and fun and definitely more family friendly. But I just feel like it has just a little, I don't know, there's something about walking up and seeing Oogie Boogie up there. It just has a different feel to it. And I love it. I don't know what it was about it. I just felt like it was more mysterious. I mean, and the characters, like, we had amazing characters that we saw. We had a great time. I mean, the treat trails were so much fun because they're so themed. And most of the time there's a character at the treat trails too. So that is the thing that's really cool too, because you're kind of walking through the theming of the character that you're going to see. And then you get your treat, but then you can also see a character. And it's a little bit different at Disneyland at the Oogie Boogie, as far as you can get some pictures like with characters, but there's a lot of those characters at the trails that you're going to get pictures of, or maybe try to do a selfie with, but you're not going to be able to get right next to them. They're going to be up, up a little bit higher. Like I'm thinking of Cruella, and it was Cruella from the newer movies, which
up
was
on the stage,
my goodness, up on the stage. I think they had Bruno out, which he had not. That was like the first time that he'd been out when we got to see him. So it is a little bit different the way that they do the characters. But I feel like
they still definitely have some character meet and greets, though.
Yeah, for sure. But there are just so many different characters. I felt like just different characters.
And I love it. So for those of you that are listening, we'll try to explain, like, so if you've done Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party at Walt Disney World, you kind of like walk into a location or walk through somewhere, right? Just like a random space. There's a cast members with a cauldron of candy and they just scoop out your candy. You say trick or treat and hi bye, right? Versus at Disney California Adventure for Oogie Boogie, when you're there, they're called treat trails. So it's not just like, oh, I just, walked here. You like walk into this treat trail, and typically through the trail, there are 3 or 4 cast member cauldron spots where they're dumping some candy into your bag. Again, pro tip, bring your own, because oh my gosh, it fills up really, really fast, especially on these treat trails where you have 3 or 4 cauldron spots. And then often on that treat trail, there are 1 or 2 villains that are characters that exist out there. So we saw like Ernesto de la Cruz from Coco.
Yes.
We saw Madame Mim from Sword in the Stone.
Yeah.
Like,
It was just
talk about like
characters,
really cool, like
see.
rare characters. And again, like Amy said, you can't go get an autograph or like go stand next to them for the picture, but you get to see, and they're like interacting with you while you're on
it's
the
a
trail.
show. They're putting on a show for
like,
sure.
They're
playing
full
their
on.
character.
Mother Gothel, I remember, was like
amazing,
so good,
amazing. Yeah,
like it's really.
Engaging, kind of.
It feels very immersive and like takes it to another level.
Yep.
That I didn't necessarily. There are character meet and greets, like you can go meet Mickey and Minnie, or you can go meet like characters in their Hocus Pocus costumes and stuff like that. I didn't feel like I needed it in Disney California Adventure because of all the characters that you see and the interaction that you get on those treat trails. To me, like, don't get me wrong, if you love character meet and greets, still go do those.
Oh,
but,
for sure.
And I think we still met Mickey.
We did.
Like we did.
I think we did that
to go
kind
say
of
hi to
because,
Mickey.
of course, it's like a must do. Yeah, and we saw Goofy too, but
yeah, like we can't go and not say hi to our guys.
Our buddy, right?
The other thing that people need to know at Oogie Boogie is that there are no fireworks. They do have an amazing, amazing parade. And the parade still runs twice per night. I love that parade.
I think
I
that
thought it was so good. And I feel like that parade it feels more Halloween themed to me.
Yes.
The parade at Walt Disney World for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is very cute. And there are definitely like some Halloween parts, but I felt like the California Adventure one, again, like there's a lot more villains and stuff like that in it. And so it just felt
more Halloween-y, if that's
like, to me.
like
I was
a word.
That was
the
so
theming,
cool.
The theming. And I don't know if it's because it's in California where I don't want to say that it's better, but with like Hollywood being there, I don't know if it's just, I don't know if they have access to, I don't know what it is, but it is
different performers or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Even like the costuming, like all of it, like the costuming and the entertainment that it, like sometimes we always talk about like the characters, and I'm like, even like the ensemble, if you will, like, I just think it's incredible. I don't.
We loved the parade out at, I mean, I love the Boo to You parade at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party too. I love a good parade, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I thought that the one at Oogie Boogie was better. And I also loved the villain's lair that they had set up in those redwood trails. It was not what I expected. And for those of you, you're not going to see characters in that. It's very much just like lighting and fog that creates this environment.
But you feel like you're in a haunted forest.
Like you feel like you're in a haunted forest. And again, it just felt spooky but safe all at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Like I love that aspect of it's like there's nothing that's going to jump out at you.
No. No.
And it was very, very cool. So don't skip the villain's lair. Like I thought that was amazing. And there's lots of cute entertainment. We went and watched like a Mickey and Pals. It's meant for little children, let's be honest. But it was like a Mickey and Pals dance party. It was so cute. Like the characters come out and do like songs and dances and all that. But it was adorable and very much enjoyable as an adult. And you're not going to feel like you're being like, it's still okay for adults, right? Like you're not going to feel like you're a creeper being in that if you're only adult. So don't skip it just because it's like the Disney Kids Dance part. I don't remember what it was
a lot
called,
of fun though. And they're just watching the
cute
interaction with the kids, but like the show and the talent, like the characters were amazing. It was a lot of fun.
It was a great event. Something to note about Oogie Boogie, those tickets. So we talked a little bit about how some dates for like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party for this year have already sold out. At the time that we're recording this podcast episode, tickets have not gone on sale for Oogie Boogie just yet, but they probably will be on sale by the time that we post this. And I'm going to tell you that they're probably already going to be sold out. Oogie Boogie typically sells out the day that it opens. So Oogie Boogie is very, very popular, and it's so limited in like how many tickets that they can sell, right? Because they want it very much to feel like a special event. So just keep that in mind. Hopefully you already booked your trip with the Goofy Getaways travel consultant, and then they helped you get your Oogie Boogie tickets. However,
and if you're a resort guest, you can get your tickets before they go to the public, right?
Not for Oogie Boogie. For Oogie Boogie, if you're a Magic Key holder, so their pass holder, you get to purchase like one day ahead.
Okay.
Versus at Walt Disney World, typically, and this happened again this year. So at Walt Disney World for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and hint, hint, this will also happen for the Christmas party, which we'll talk about more on another podcast episode. If you're a resort guest, you typically get to buy your tickets 1 week before it opens to the general public. So it helps that if you're like, hey, I want a really popular night like Halloween night, if you're a resort guest, you get first dibs on those.
Which is nice.
Yeah. Helps you make sure that, you know, if you've already booked your vacation and your stay, that
I feel like it's just when you're going to go, if you're going to take your kids, or if you don't have kids, if you're going to go in the fall to Walt Disney World, it's one of those things that I'm just like, just add it on. It's just another layer of an experience, fun, seeing the characters in different costumes, kind of in different environments, just kind of making something super special because it's different. It's not like it's something different than would typically be there. So I say give it a shot, honestly.
Yeah. I agree that it, at a minimum, everyone should try the event at least once.
Yeah.
Right. It is an after hours event. I won't lie. I am not a late night person. Okay. I'll be the first to admit this. And I've had clients that are like, oh my gosh, like my kids are really little, like their bedtime is 7:00 and that's what time the party starts. I get it. But it truly is such a cool and special event. Like usually what I recommend to people, and again, this happens on both coasts, that I tell them, I'm like, either don't do a park that day during the day when you're going to go to one of these parties, or just be sure to take a really nice long afternoon break. Go take a nap, go play in the pool for a little bit, go rest and recover so that you can really go and enjoy the party. I do the same thing as an adult. So, you know, it's such an amazing, like, again, both coasts, the events are so amazing. They're so well done. Again, it is a separate ticket, so it is not included with your regular park ticket.
Yeah, and the prices vary depending on when you're going.
Vary based on the date. But you got to make sure that, like, if you want to go to one of these events, that you've got your tickets in advance. Oogie Boogie, for sure.
I was just going to say, that's the one where if you're wanting to go, like, I know I'm going to have to be up super early that day. I mean, I know that they're still like behind us, but because we're doing that as an agency, there's like 10 of us, and I'm like, oh, and we all want to go that same day, and it's going to be.
The good news is, because it's California, I feel like the tickets go on sale at like 9 a.m.
I think
or something
so too.
like that.
I think so too. But yeah.
But yeah. And for Walt Disney World, again, you know,
if you know you're going to be there.
If at the time they were recording, Halloween is the only date sold out. But it is very common for the majority of dates to sell out.
Yeah.
They tend to sell out kind of towards mid to late July. So don't wait. Like, let's get your Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party tickets booked and secured for you. And even if you didn't book the rest of your Walt Disney World vacation with a Goofy Getaways travel consultant, we can still help you with your Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party tickets and still give you tips and tricks for that. So, we can
hopefully we've convinced you. I mean, hopefully.
Well, before we go there,
so
hold on.
Okay.
Because we've got to do our Amy's All In.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is so hard. Do we get an all in on each park?
So here's what we're going to do, friends. Amy's All In. Hi, if you're new here, we're the Amy's, and this is where we tell you something that we're all in about, usually something related to the topic. So our all in today is that we're going to tell you which is our favorite, like which one of the two are we all in on, Oogie Boogie or Mickey's Not So Scary, and then tell them why. Like, what is it about that event? Because if you haven't noticed from the episode, we clearly love both.
Yeah, I would agree.
Right, like we very much love both. So we're going to tell you which one we're all in on and why. Do you know, Amy, or do you need a minute?
I don't even need to think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
Easy peasy. Oogie Boogie Bash. It is my favorite event that is extra that Walt Disney does. Disney World, Disney Parks. How about Disney Destinations? I like the mystery of it. I like the park that they do it at. I like the layout. I love the parade. Like, I'm just all in on all of it. The way that they do the treat trails, not treat stops, just the different characters that are out. I think it is probably just the most fun extra events that I've done at Disney, for sure. All in. I'm all in on Oogie Boogie.
Okay. Well, shocker. So am I. Oogie Boogie. And I'm going to, so yes, ditto to everything that you just said, but I'm going to add two more pieces of why I like Oogie Boogie better than Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Again, I love both events. However, the other thing that I love about Oogie Boogie is, to me, I have been to both coasts when the events are sold out. And to me, Oogie Boogie feels less crowded, even at a sold out event. And so don't get me wrong, it's Disney. Like, are there still people and there's still going to be lines and crowds? Yes, like that is always the case no matter what. But it felt less crowded to me at Oogie Boogie, and I felt like I could do more things during the event than I sometimes do during a sold out night over at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So that's one thing. The other thing that I love, and it's one of my favorite things about the Disneyland Resort in general, is that at the end of the night, you can just walk.
Tell me about it.
A few steps back to your hotel, especially if you're staying at one of the on-property hotels. The fact at the end of the night, when you are exhausted and you're probably hot and sweaty, because let's be honest, both of those parks get very warm the majority of the time, that at the end of the night, instead of having to hop on a bus or get in a car or be on the monorail or whatever transportation that you need at Walt Disney World, you can just walk back to your hotel nice and easy. Like, if the kids are in the stroller, great. Just roll them back. Go back to your hotel. Go straight to bed. And it's like a
bus or a boat or a car or an Uber.
That ease of access at the Disneyland Resort is also why I think it's a better option for, like, if you have young children and you want to do some type of a Halloween event. Oogie Boogie, I think, is so much easier.
Yep, I would agree. For ease, for sure.
Again, they're both great. Funny. They're both great.
It's so funny that was both of our favorites, because we don't tell each other what are all in this, and so that doesn't surprise me though. That was a lot of fun. That was an amazing time when we went to that. The whole trip,
We've shared on a previous podcast episode about the Amy's in California episode. If you haven't listened to that episode, please go. But this was actually like the start of it. Like, I arrived that day and we went to Oogie Boogie that night.
We did.
And it was just such a great way to kick off the trip. And I feel like it set the whole tone that it was like, this is going to be so much fun.
The whole time.
And it was really good. And again, it was just such a well done event.
I think they do a really good job. Yeah.
They do.
I mean, I think they do an amazing job at Mickey's Not So Scary also. I mean, that's one that I don't like to miss
either. But
no, again, we repeatedly go back to that. Like, we really do. So like, we're telling you, no matter which coast you're on, you should do one of them. However, if you're trying to decide between one or the other,
take our advice and just because
like
I feel like, especially living in the Midwest,
Disneyland,
though Disneyland gets overlooked a lot. People, oh, it's so far away, and I'm like, you go to Vegas, it's not that much further. So definitely, like, don't discount Disneyland. I think it's an incredible experience, and we talk about that a lot because I'm so vocal about it. But yeah, if you're gonna pick one or the other, man, take like a long weekend and go to Disneyland. And there's a lot of other things we can help you pair it with, but Oogie Boogie is worth it for sure. But if you're wanting to go someplace, any place, California Adventure, wherever it is that you want to go, reach out to us because we would love to help you get there. For sure. Remember, you can reach out to us at www.goofygetaways.com. All kinds of information there. Everything that you could possibly need or want is there. So definitely reach out to us. Check out our social media. We've got Instagram, Facebook. We've even got TikTok. So reach out to us because we would love to help lead you to the magic. It's something that I feel like we're really, really good at and we love to do. So is there anything else that I'm missing today? Remember, you can watch us not only on YouTube, but on Spotify and, of course, on Apple, our podcast, Apple iTunes. So
yes, be sure to, comment, like, save, share on our social media platforms, but also here, and let us know if there are other podcast topics that you want to hear us discuss. We've got lots of fun things coming up, so be sure to be subscribed on whatever platform, whether it's YouTube or Spotify or, Apple Podcasts. We're going to be talking, we talked to you about the Halloween stuff, but there's more holiday things and lots of exciting things coming down the pipeline at the parks. And so be sure to let us know what you want to know about, but we're going to be trying to share all the tips and details with you. So that you can have a magical vacation and then hopefully book that magical vacation with us so that your Goofy Getaways travel consultant can help provide the most personalized service for you so you can have your best magical vacation. Not our 100%. Best magical vacation.
It's about you.
But your best magical vacation.
And we've had some interest in some comments and some messages, people that are just kind of interested in Amy and I, obviously, with doing the podcast. And so I did want to mention that we both do have our other social media handles where Amy does have, Amy Runs on Magic, which is Instagram for sure. Facebook also, but that's your handle. Yep. And mine is obviously Goofy Getaways, the CEO. And so we both keep those pages pretty active, pretty fun. What you see is what you get with both of us. So it's always so interesting to me that people are interested in us. And I just hope that you like that we're super authentic and just as real as you can get. So make sure and follow us. You got all kinds of places to follow us. And we look forward to having you join us for another podcast. But until that time, we will see ya
real soon.
If you liked today's episode of the Goofy Getaways podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember to follow Goofy Getaways on social media so we can lead you to the magic.